regular board meeting of the Creighton Elementary School District Governing Board for June 18th. And we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm going to call Mr. Todd Lamprey to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let the roll call show that all members of the governing board and all members of cabinet are here, are present. I want to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting and remind the audience of the request to address the board cards that must be completed and submitted to the board secretary if they wish to speak to an agenda item. Board policy provides for 2 cards: white cards to be submitted in order to speak to a specific agenda item, and blue cards to be submitted in order to speak during public comments. Policy also states that there's a 5-minute maximum time limit per speaker. Due to the open meeting law, board members are not allowed to address items that are not on the agenda. If you do not want to address the board but wish to give your comments in writing, you can do so on a goldenrod sheet, and all members will receive a copy. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I move the governing board approve the agenda as presented.
I second.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. The agenda is approved. The next item is the adoption of the 2013-14 budgets pursuant to policy DB. Is there a motion? This has to do with the budget that we just heard in the special hearing. It is item 2B.
I move the governing board adopt the total aggregate school district budget per ARS 15-905 and the insurance proceeds budget per 15-1103C for fiscal year 2013-2014.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
It is approved unanimously. Approval of minutes. We have minutes for the June 4th regular governing board meeting. Is there a motion to approve them?
I move the governing board approve the minutes as submitted.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
It is approved unanimously. We have no public comments at this time, so we move into 5A, the superintendent's report. Go ahead.
Good evening and welcome everyone to our governing board meeting this evening. This evening, the Creighton School District Governing Board is conducting its final meeting for the 2012-13 academic year. The next meeting of the governing board will be a governing board study session, which will be held on Saturday, August 3rd, 2013 in this very governing board room from 8:30 to 4:30, and it is an open meeting. Everyone is invited. The first official meeting of the board for the 2013-14 academic year will be held on Tuesday, August 6th. As we come to the end of our 2012-13 academic year, I would just like to update on summer activities. From June 17th through July 3rd, Creighton School District will conduct a summer school which will be held at Excellencia School. As I reported at our last meeting, the Curriculum and Assessment Cabinet was engaged in 2 weeks of working on Common Core curriculum and park-like assessments. That the 2 weeks of work has been completed in the development of Common Core curriculum and park-like assessments. Again, the bulk of the task has been completed, but there are subgroups who will be working this summer to complete their work. As far as in the area of administration, the hiring process is being completed. Tomorrow, Loma Linda School will be interviewing assistant principal candidates, and also HR is working very diligently to support the sites and departments in final hiring of personnel and certainly at the sites teachers. Simultaneously, as we are working in June and July, we are in in-depth planning for a leadership seminar, which will be held July 17th through 19th, new teacher orientation July 24th through 30th, and all staff convocation orientation July 31st and August 2nd, and school starts August 5th. So please check your board bulletin because there are some events to which you are being invited. And to everyone, I say enjoy your summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Boyle. We move into item 5B, the Calle 16 or Calle 16 artist presentation. And who do we have presenting? Welcome, please introduce yourself.
My name is Hugo Medina. I am one of the co-founders for Calle 16, which is a mural project that we started in 2010 on 16th Street. And my kids actually got a bookmark prep. Excellent. Just gotta plug this in and get set up. While I load this up, Calle 16 is a video is going to do most of the talking.
Tonight's edition of Arizona Art Beat takes us to 16th Street in Phoenix, where David Major reports artists are painting murals to build community pride.
Art has been part of every revolution, every movement. Art evokes ideas. Art is a language. And I think that's the best way to get together a community.
There you go. Yep.
I think that was the other one. Change the perception into something positive during negative times.
Put the microphone down.
In the spring of 2010, Senate Bill 1070 turned Phoenix, Arizona into a reservoir of raw emotion. Anger and resentment over the state's new immigration law spilled into the streets and into the consciousness of the nation.
No, that's not where I come from. That's not the way we are. You know,
Tonight's edition of Arizona Art Beat takes us to 16th Street in Phoenix, where, as David Major reports, artists are painting murals to build community pride.
Art has been part of every revolution, every movement. Art evokes ideas. Art is a language. And I think that's the best way to get together a community with art.
this is how we can do change the perception. We can do something positive during negative times.
In the spring of 2010, Senate Bill 1070 turned Phoenix, Arizona into a reservoir of raw emotion. Anger and resentment over the state's new immigration law spilled into the streets and into the consciousness of the nation.
No, that's not where I come from. That's not the way we are. You know, perception is everything, right? So the perception is skewed.
Chef Silvana Salcido Esparza, the owner of Barrio Cafe in Phoenix, traveled that summer. And just about everywhere she went, people wanted to know what's up with Arizona.
And the questions, to me, were very stupid. Yet, to them, they were genuine and concerns, and it really brought home the point that we look like buffoons to the rest of the country. So when I came back, I started to think about myself, you know, looking in the mirror, what am I doing, what can I do differently? And I had just commissioned the mural out back. And I'm looking at this mural, and it hit me, we need to do more. What came to me is, you have to do more murals.
I want Phoenix to be full of murals, everywhere, not just Calle 16, but every single corner.
Chef Savannah found kindred spirits in Mexican-American artist Genaro Garcia and Bolivian-born artist Hugo Medina.
Talked to me and Aldo Garcia about the idea, and we came up with doing Calle 16. What we want to do is get artists to come out and just paint murals all along 16th Street.
She posted the idea online, and the response was overwhelming.
All I did was Facebook. I put it up on Facebook, and the rest is history. People just kind of stood up and said, yes, absolutely. People who are desperate to do something to change that skewed perception that people have about Phoenix. What I'm saying is, let's take ownership. You know, we have to be accountable for our own actions. You know, you can't fight hate with hate. You know, don't worry about what others are saying. You worry about what you're doing and how are we making things better. And who doesn't love art?
But this will become mural alley, so to speak, and we're going to cover this back wall up, trying to get this whole area, different artists, different murals. The artists are, most of them donating their time. We're doing a mural at cost.
Brick by brick and wall by wall, artists are transforming 16th Street, or Calle 16, into an open-air gallery of murals.
In doing so, we want to beautify the street, because as you'll see, a lot of the buildings have been closed down. You have a lot of the tagging that's gone up, so it's really been turning the neighborhood around.
In early May, Medina led a walking tour of the neighborhood along 16th Street between McDowell and Thomas Roads.
That wall is just calling my hand. Can you come down here and do a mural?
The community has a number of existing murals. Some have been here for decades. Others are relatively new.
As you see the different murals, you see the different styles, different flavors of the artists.
This art is terrific, terrific. This is what we need happening in Phoenix.
When I decided to do this mural, I wanted to do homage to the Jimador, who harvests the agave plants to make tequila.
The area has a large Mexican population, so Senate Bill 1070 and the economic recession were a double whammy for local business.
I think it's dropped off about 50%. And that's a lot. You see a lot of the little businesses closing down across the street. Very good businesses. They cannot survive because their client base has left. Whether they were deported or auto-deported, they're gone.
Chef Silvana is helping businesses reinvent themselves, and the mural project is bringing people together.
It's not our project, it's the community's project. It's something that people in Arizona who live here day in and day out are doing for their community.
Calle 16 has evolved into a grassroots organization that seeks to build community by promoting art, culture, and cuisine on 16th Street in Phoenix. The murals are simply a catalyst.
What I keep saying is, it's community-based. It means it's gotta cost us. Sweat equity, dig into our own pockets, bring out our own talent. You can't go out there and say, help us, if you're not doing anything. So what we're doing is we're doing it together.
That's how this mural came to be. Emblazoned on the side of a sporting goods store with colorful Mexican imagery and a carved plaster relief of the face of Frida Kahlo, it's the first official mural by Calle 16.
I wanted to do something really special. This mural had to be like amazing for me. This mural, I wanted to be like the face of Phoenix. I want people to come visit Phoenix and say, oh, we have to go to the mural. We have to go and take a picture of the mural.
Garcia designed the mural, but he didn't paint it alone.
I have a lot of help. I think more between 100 and 150 people.
Other artists pitched in, and plenty of kids from the neighborhood stopped by to leave their mark.
In 5 years, most of those kids will be in high school and driving, and they're gonna look over and say, hey, I did that. See that little line right there? I did that. You know, and it's community, it's a sense of community. So it starts with one mural, but it's endless where it can go.
Where it goes is anyone's guess. There are very few limitations.
First of all, we don't want any politics on Calle 16. That is there. I mean, let's face it. It's in our face.
It's not a political movement. It's not a political retaliation. This is not a retaliation to 1070. This is not a Mexicano movement or a Latino movement. This is a Phoenician movement.
we don't want to restrict the artists to not paint what they want to. We want them to allow them to have their vision, as the guy did his mural, but we want it to be cultural, historic, and positive.
Bienvenidos a Arizona. Welcome to Arizona is the title of Garcia's mural. Its message, build your own American dream. Garcia says he's already living his.
Because I'm an immigrant. I was illegal. I was illegal for the longest time. But now I'm a citizen and I'm part of this beautiful country. This is my country. And if I was still living in any other country in the world, and I cannot give the best life to my family, I will come to America. Every single life. Every single life. It's a beautiful thing. I think that's the whole idea of America.
And the whole idea of Calle 16 is to spread that American spirit.
And when we're done with this block, we're going next block. And we just have to nurture it and feed it and take care of it. And Calle 16 is here, most definitely here.
Calle 16 is in the process of registering as a non-profit corporation to make it easier to raise revenue for its mission. If you'd like to learn more, visit the website calle16.org or...
So that kind of sums it up. That was shot when we first started, and that was back in 2010. And of course, I'm going to go through some slides, answer some questions, tell you a little bit about our murals. This is the first mural that we officially did, and as you saw from the video, it was probably about 150 people participating in painting it. A lot of kids in the neighborhood would come out, and we just put them to work. The best part about this mural is we were getting parents coming in, dropping their kids off, saying they need to do community service, and we please direct them. And at first the kids didn't want to be there, and they didn't want to leave. Murals, for the most part, increase street traffic to any business or organization by 20-30%. And they also deter from tagging and vandalism. So being able to bring this into the community and bring it to the schools is great for the kids as a venue to express themselves and create artwork, but also beautify the neighborhood and keep it from being tagged or vandalized. After, 4 years now since, 3 years since we started, we have over 15 murals done. You'll see one of them actually was at Excelencia. The murals were all funded by the artists and done through a community effort. And the best part about all the murals is the fact that we did it with the community, and parents, kids, and family members all came out and be a part of it. Now, what we have started doing is started to work with children in at-risk groups. I just finished doing a mural with the Youth Development Institute, and where I went in, did a week class on murals and art, and the kids designed their own mural, and we painted it together outside their building. And then one of our artists, Angel Diaz, did the same thing at Tumbleweed's Homeless Center, where he went in, worked with the kids, and was given a group of core kids to work with, and they designed a mural together, and over a weekend painted it. Kind of very similar to the mural I did at Excelencia, where the art teacher called up and was like, so I had to do a mural, I'm not sure how to go about it, can you help? I went in, did a presentation, worked with all the 7th and 8th graders, and did an 8th grade mural for the kids that were graduating. Each mural, each artist has their own special vision and a different style. For example, the one we're looking at right now was done by Jenny Wazowski. And once again, like all the murals, are all revolve around getting the community out to participate and paint. The artist either designs it, gets it started, and then when we have community days for people to come out and participate, we just basically direct and almost paint by numbers. And this is Excelencia. That was the total of my presentation. What I would like to do is set up a program where I can have an artist at each one of the Creighton school districts, either a Catholic school program or a program where the artists come in, work with the kids, and then given a wall, and come out and do a community mural with the kids at each school. Questions?
Thank you. Have you had any issues with tagging or graffiti on the murals, and how has it impacted the amount of graffiti in the neighborhood along 16th Street?
None of the murals we've done have been tagged or graffiti. The beauty behind that is that taggers, for the most part, have a moral code to a degree, and they won't mess up other people's artwork. So out of the 50 murals that we've done, plus the 10 other murals that I've done throughout the city in Mason, Scottsdale, none of them have been vandalized or tagged. The beauty also about it being a community mural, the community protects it, they look after them. The murals on, the first mural we did, business owner comes out and sweeps the area, maintains the area clean because he wants people to come out and see the mural. And they are also being used for backdrops for tons of news, movies, videos, and photo shoots from families to up-and-coming artists.
You mentioned you wanted to partner with our district and come to all the schools, which I think is a great idea. Would there be any costs associated with that you would need on our behalf?
Yeah, we are looking into different grants that would hopefully apply for that. The cost would be basically materials and, if possible, being able to pay for the artist. If we are able to find grants to make put that together, I am able to put a curriculum together for it at Masters in Education, so that's kind of one of my specialties.
Didn't you teach at?
I taught at Squaw Peak 2000 to 2002.
Yeah, the Arizona Commission on Arts and the Phoenix Arts Commission both have grants for the next year, and they're due February, March of next year for the next year, but it's already too late for this coming school year for those two things. But of course, I guess there's other grants out there. The only other one I've used was the Puffin Foundation, but they're in New Jersey.
And there is the Pullman Foundation that will give me a grant for doing this. I just need to find a fiduciary and would need to build a curriculum and find a way to show them how the art and the murals help the kids throughout their process from beginning to end. But there are different other forms of grants out there as well. It's just once I get the okay that we are able to move forward with this, I can start finding the grant process, putting the budget together and the curriculum.
Other questions, comments? Sure.
Yes.
Todd?
Todd is one of our board members.
Yeah, I'm Todd Lamford, I'm on the board of Calle. One thing I think that would be beneficial is if there are art teachers throughout the district who might have an interest in this, get them in touch with us so we can talk with them and kind of see how the types of programs that Hugo and Genaro and some of the other guys have done can fit into what they're thinking about doing in the coming school year. And so, it's not a reactive thing, it's sort of an interactive, proactive. And then that can only help with the grant process, So most of the projects that we've done, they're, in the whole grand scheme of expensive, they're not. It's relatively inexpensive. Hugo, if you want to touch on that a little bit. I have to say, in the year and a half or so since I've been involved on the board of this, just watching the kids engage in this is just fascinating to see. You have kids who think that they can't do art, whether it's a brush or they learn how to use a can. It doesn't matter. They kind of flock to it. It's just fascinating and it's wonderful to see. And it's not something that you see a lot in an urban setting like this. where kids come out on weekends, they want to go, play football or soccer or, do a bunch of other things. But to have them come in and engage in cultural discussions and learn about the art is, I think, a very powerful and very worthwhile experience for the kids. And, you guys are in our neighborhood. So, we have a vested interest in trying to do something with Creighton as well. So, Hugo's the executive director of the organization, so if you have some people that you want to get in touch, any art teachers, just have them get a hold directly with Hugo. And he's got cards. And we can go from there. But thank you so much for the opportunity to talk. We really would like to work with the district.
Could you talk a little bit about, in terms of the length of time that a school site mural would take? I mean, obviously the one at Excelencia seemed complex and detailed but not quite as extensive as some of your other projects. So time commitment in terms of the duration of the project and...
A mural could be painted, like the one in Excelencia was painted in one day, basically, over a weekend. And that was, when I went in, I did a presentation to all the art classes. They come up with a design. I took all the kids' designs and made one that made give them a couple of options. They voted on what they wanted. And then it was basically outlining and filling. That was the Inato Garcia mural, which was 3 times the size, took close to 4 months. So the mural, the length of time depends on the amount of time we have with the classroom. For example, I set up a curriculum for a class at ASU where it takes a whole semester. And we go from the beginning of murals to the first cave paintings, public art, and to a whole different level of building a mural from start to finish. With the kids, we could probably do it within 2 months or less, depending on the intricacy of the mural, the design process, and how much time. If I see them once a week for an hour, it's going to take longer. If I see them for 4 weeks straight, we could come up with a design, do a curriculum based on the amount of time I have, and the actual painting of the mural varies between the artist and the design and how the kids, how much of their involvement is in it.
I mean, they're beautiful, and I quite honestly, as I drive down 16th quite a lot and didn't really know who to attribute all of the beautiful work to, so thank you and congratulations to your hard work. I'm really intrigued about the idea, and as I'm thinking about not only integrating it into arts, but quite honestly, the opportunity as we think about implementation of Common Core and the integration of math, science in terms of, color blending and the components and certainly bringing in quite a lot, but the opportunity, I think, even for our English language learners in the course of the amount of dialogue and writing and the discussion between the artists and themselves and their students. And I think that there's an opportunity, if done really well, and as Todd said, bringing together our teachers once the school year begins, because obviously they're out of school right now, but being able to really think about it in an integrated way across the curriculum so that it gives you a chance perhaps to spend more time with students, but really thinking about how can we bring arts into all of the other content areas, or rather all the other content areas into the art. I think there's a real opportunity there to help distribute that for our students and give them some exposure. So I'd be eager to see if the administration, when school began, would be able to have conversations, or at least maybe give you a platform and opportunity to start with one school and see how we can do that process in a more integrated way, and then expand that to some of the other campuses.
When I taught at Swap Peak, that was kind of one of my focuses as the art teacher there, was integrate the lessons and to reinforce what the teachers were doing at the time. So that's just, art easily fits into language arts, history, math, and science, and because it has all those elements intertwined in with it, and especially in the history behind it, and understanding the history, so know what you want to create, transferring a 8x11 sketch onto a 30x40 foot wall. And just all that comes into play when you create a mural. And that's the process that the kids will go through, and same from figuring out how they're going to design, what they're going to design, what the story is going to say. Art is basically a language. So we're teaching how to speak a new language and express yourself visually. It's the first thing we learn how to do as kids, but have forgotten how to use it when we start learning how to talk and communicate differently. As children, that's the first thing we do, is express ourselves visually. And art and murals especially have been a part of society from the beginning of time, from the first cave painting, which was initially the first mural, and has captured history throughout time as its civilization evolved.
I really like that idea of integrating it into the curriculum, and I originally was thinking of, because I know I've been advocating for after-school programs, because it seems like not all our schools have comprehensive after-school programs, and especially for some of the kids who are latchkey kids who go home and there's nobody there, or really are, you know, just kind of wandering, wondering what to do. So I thought it'd be great to have a program like this too, as an after-school program, but, you know, either way, I mean, just as long as we get you in here, I think it'd just be a great addition for
As
the
long as it's not
kids.
before school.
Yeah.
Great. Any other questions? If not, thank you, Mr. Medina and Mr. Lamprey, for being here, and we look forward to working with you in whatever way.
Thank you guys very much.
And we will move on to item 5C, Mr. Walmer, having to do with bond.